Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings from the heart chakra. Peace, peace. Come on in. Okay, family. Peace, peace from the heart chakra. The topic I want to discuss today, family, was if our diet was killing us. If melanated people are following the diet of a European person. And with that being said, the effects that the diet has on our people as a whole in contrast with the European man. Now, we know for facts that every other culture, every other civilization that migrates from their homeland, they bring many things with them, and one of them being their diet. You know, the Chinese man come from China. He migrates, to America. He brings his diet. The Indian man from India migrates and he brings his diet. The Spanish, the Italian. You know, you can go on, the list can go on with all the nationalities. But us melanated people already, being subjected to this land or, kidnapped and brought to this land, we kind of adopted a diet that really wasn't structured for our people, that really wasn't designed to help our people in any way, shape, or form. By definition, food, is what you put into your body and gives your body the minerals that it needs to sustain life. Yet when you look up the so-called foods that we are taking into our body now, they are hardly even foods at all by definition. If you look up the definition of food, we're eating a lot of chemical substance that does nothing nutritionally for our bodies at all, nothing at all. So on a cellular level, we're not even taking care of our body. We're basically just feeding our intestines, feeding our body, but not giving them the nutrition or the minerals that they need to sustain life in this vessel that we are. And I say this because as a melanated people, we wonder why we are suffering from so many different diseases, high blood pressure, diabetes, cancers, people losing their mind, schizophrenia, Alzheimer's, just to name a few, that our people are going through. And then when you go through history and check on the history, we have never, ever experienced these diseases while we were living our life in these vessels. So it got me to it had me starting to break down stuff and look into certain things and the diet of different people. And I came up with the conclusion. And again, this is not no information that I have discovered. This is information that's been here from the ancestors. And I want to give thanks to the ancestors for shining this light on me and getting this information to me and allow me to I guess reciprocate the information onto other people, But even looking into ancient Africa and Kemet, doing some research on them and looking at the writings, the hieroglyphics, I guess you would say, trying to get a basic understanding from other people's understanding, And I wanted to find out what their diet was, what they were eating. And I noticed they were eating a lot of beans, lentils, leafy greens, um, vegetables, fruits. Sometimes they had dried fish, and rarely, that I really didn't see anything about meat. It was more so poultry. So I guess it'd be fish and chicken. So then I started looking into other things. And I also learned that the cow is a hybrid of the bovine, which is about, I guess they say anywhere between 9,500 to 10,000 years old. And we know that the Egyptians was around, thousands of years before that. And it doesn't speak of a cow on their writings or anything. So it had me wondering, like, where the hell did the cow come from then if it wasn't around back then? And I totally understand interbreeding. And now I have a understanding of hybridization. And I definitely tell you guys to look into it because there's a difference between hybridization and interbreeding. There's a big difference. So if you guys don't understand that or get where I'm coming from, please, I urge you to go look up hybridization and then go look up interbreeding. And then you can go look up the bovine and the cow. That's just the one to get you started. That should like tickle your fancy. And then you'll understand the kind of world that we live in, that a lot of things they portrayed and that we were raised to understand to be the truth is totally not the truth. It is vastly different. And I'm starting to understand that it was done on purpose. It was done intentionally. It was to hide the truth about certain people, certain things. And right now, I think we're in a time where people are rising. I don't want to even say awake because I also learned that the English language is based off a bunch of spells and sorcery. And I know people are going to look at me like I'm crazy. Like, what you mean? What you mean is off a bunch of sorcery? But let's look up the word. Let's look up how they say the etymology of the word or where the word is derived from. Grammar. The word grammar I believe it has a Latin or either Latin derivative, but it means magic or incantations, like magical sorcery stuff. So we have to learn in, this Western civilization, we use grammar, which is sorcery, and incantations to speak. So it had me thinking, is that why we go to school to learn spelling? Spells? We're putting spells on people? Because one of the first things they want to know is, are you a good speller? Can you spell that word? And then once they test you, T, like the cross, E stands for energy, S stands for traveling or, a route, and then the cross, the T again. Because again, this language was derived, all languages were derived from symbolism, pictures, and sounds. So what would make this language that we speak any different? That's why I urge people to look into the English language, look into the history, see what's going on, because there's a lot going on out here, people, that people want to keep their eyes closed or eyes wide shut, as I would say, to things that's going on. And that was just, a few small things to tickle you guys' fancy. Maybe you'll pick up a book or you'll open up a web browser and, you know, check out some of the stuff I'm telling you, because again, I don't drop no jewels that you can't go research. I don't want you to believe me. I don't want you to say, oh, he said this, so it's the truth, because I'm not that kind of person. But what I did do was really start researching stuff. You know, like I told you, the English language is words of sorcery and sounds of sorcery and incantations. We learn how to spell, to play spells on people. For instance, you say good morning when you wake up. And usually people say that. They don't sound too happy when they say it, like, hey, good morning. But let's look at it. Morning, as we know, is a word that we use when someone has passed away, has left this dimension, left this physical vessel into, to transcend into the next dimension. But we say good morning to people as if we're saying like it's a good day for people to have died, or and that didn't sit right with me with all the other words that we have that we can use. We have wake, or wake again. That's another word that is what I want to say, synonymous to death. When someone passes away, you go to their wake. So when you start seeing stuff like that, you understand that the words that we use are very powerful because it was designed for it to be that way. And it's also designed to keep us in a certain, I want to say, mental state. Because by us using these words subconsciously is painting a picture in our mind, in our brain about certain topics, about certain situations, because, the human body is a magnificent and beautiful design. It was nothing designed on accident. We were purposely put like this. We were created, put here on this land, and we haven't changed physically much. That's why, all that evolution and Darwinism, that stuff is a bunch of baloney to keep your head in the clouds to see what's really going on. But again, I wanted to do this picture to ask people, what are you eating? Are you eating a diet that is helping you balance, maintain, and sustain a healthy living? Are you eating foods that are cleansing you on a cellular level? Are you eating foods that are help cleanse your bloodstream? Because we know that your blood runs through your body. It runs through every organ in your body. Therefore, if you have poison blood, and we look at your blood vessels as, let's look at them as little train tracks. Your blood is the train, and it's making all these stops around your body. Is leaving deposits of that poison in every station that it stops in. And after it continuously, makes its rounds, dropping off these poisons and carcinogens, I guess, of the blood, it's ultimately taking life away from you. It's stealing life away from you. The food we are eating is stealing life from us, along with the water that we're drinking. That's a whole nother topic, because if you're not even drinking the water that's of a certain pH level, 7.5 or higher, you're not even drinking water. You're drinking a solution. That does the solution that you're drinking does nothing on a mineral level for your body. So that goes to show you how deep and how serious, what's going on in this world that we live in. Like, we're not even drinking real water. Still, a year and some change later, Flint, Michigan is still not drinking clean water in the US of A. That don't bother nobody. Again, people, what are you eating? What are you putting into your temple? Is it satisfying you on a mineral level? I guess you could say. Is it cleansing your cells? Or are you just filling your stomach with a bunch of chemicals that ultimately has no nutritional value for you and is definitely aiding in your demise? And not just aiding in your demise, it is accelerating your demise at such a rate. Look around. How many people have buried somebody in the last few months from a disease, a cancer, high blood pressure, something that was reversible, totally reversible by your diet? Think about that. That's food for thought. That's real food for thought. Is what you putting in your mouth and that travels into your stomach really benefiting you on a cellular level, or is it destroying you? That's the questions that you have to ask yourself. And if you care about your vessel, if you care about life itself, then you'll make a change. And this is for the people who really want to make a change. And you can do it. I did it. Ask anybody that know. I'm not just speaking this because I read it. I am what you would call I eat a plant-based diet and have been for months now, and I feel great. I've lost 50 pounds without going to the gym. My skin is so much clearer. You know, my hair is growing and it's so strong. I wake up bright and early in the morning. You know, I have loads of energy. I'm not just speaking it because I read it. I read it and then I took action. And that was the reason why I wanted to put this out there. Melanated people, stop waiting around and take action. Take action on what you're putting into your body. What are you eating? What are you digesting? And understand that eating is not just on a food level. Eating is what you ingest through your eyes, through your ears. You know, what are you hearing? What are you listening to? What are you watching? What are you putting into your temple? What are you breathing in? That's called prana. You know? So, family, I love y'all. I love y'all. Peace. Peace and love from the heart chakra. Again, please take the time out to look into these things. Ask yourself, ask yourself, ask yourself all kinds of questions. Why? Remember the who, what, when, where, whys. Yeah, let's get back to that. But let's start who, what, when, where, and why. The history that we was already taught. Because right now, we just believe the opinions, and we hope that these people were being honest with us. We hope that they had our best interests in mind when they put these texts out. We hope that they had enough decency to keep it real. But as we know, especially as a melanated people, we have been lied to, we have been tricked, we have been deceived, we have been stolen from. And with that being said, why would you want to believe the opinion of your oppressor? That's food for thought. Peace, peace, family. I love y'all. Peace and blessings. Peace. I love y'all from the heart chakra. It's always coming from the heart. I love y'all. Stay strong until we meet again.